Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to take a Xyloband from the Coldplay concert and turn it on so that it stays on. So we're just going to use things that you have in your house, a little screwdriver, pair of scissors, and any type of wire. You can use headphones, like old headphones, or this is an old stereo connection, anything like that. So you start by opening up the back and unscrewing the 4 screws. They're really easy to lose, so make sure you keep them someplace safe. And you open up, you see they have, it has a battery in there. There's also a battery underneath it. And then you have a black wire and a red wire, and the key is we need to connect the black wire to the top of this battery. If you see, the top of the battery is also connected to this bar that runs along here. So if you have a soldering iron, it would be really easy to solder a wire connection from the black wire to this edge here. But I don't have a soldering iron, so I'll show you another way to do it. You can start by sliding the battery out. Pops out like that. Then we're going to take our wire, cut the ends off, and then if you have a wire stripper, you can use that. Otherwise, you can just very gently cut into only the outer edge of the cable, and then if you kind of pull on it just the right way, you can pull the casing off. And your wire, this one is threaded. It's a bunch of tiny little threads. Yours might be a little different. It might be solid. That's fine as long as it's actually a metal wire that can conduct electricity. You're good. So I'm just going to use these threads and I'll wrap them up so that they're more like one solid wire. I'm twisting them. So now I have my wire. You can see if I touch the black to that edge, it turns it on. And again, like I said, there's a battery underneath that's powering that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire and wrap it around this black wire. Like that, so that it's only around the black one, not the red one. And then I'm going to try and get it as close to the bottom as possible so that it touches the part where the black wire connects. And then I'm going to twist it down there so that that connection stays, because we want the wire to stay so that it's always touching. It's always touching that part of the connection where the black is connecting to the board. So see, now it's wrapped around the black wire, and if we touch it to this other bit, then it stays glowing. So now the key, once we have that pressed all the way down, and I'm sure that it's going to stay there. Maybe I'll twist it one more time just to be safe. Then I'm going to, it was sort of like a horseshoe around the black wire, now I'm going to twist those together so that it's just like one wire coming off of that. So it may be a little blurry to see, but I have the black wire and now it's just my wire coming off of that. What I'm going to do is take this wire and wrap it around this part where the battery connects to. So take it like this. I'm going to sort of make it into a hook shape and then actually loop it through. And this is a little tricky, obviously. It helps if it's twisted together nicely so it doesn't fall apart on you. I'm just using the scissors to sort of try and guide it through. I think it's easiest if you make it a hook shape at the end, then it feeds through better. Okay, so I got a little bit. So now I have it looped around once. I want to pull it tight just so that it stays connected there. So if you see, here's my wire. It's wrapped around the black, then it's looped through this hook. I'm going to pull it really tight and smash it down. So main thing is we want to make sure it stays connected. So now I guess if you had a long enough wire you could do 2 loops through. Mine's a little bit short, so I'm just going to do 1. Then now we can put the battery back in. You want this side with the little bumps and the black ring around it goes up, and then it matters which way this ring goes as well. If you look, there's one edge where these are flat and stick out all the way, and the other side they're sort of dented down, the tabs. So you want the side that's flat to go on the bottom, and this where it's sort of textured here to be on top with the bumpy and the black ring, the bumpy bit. Alright, so then you slide this battery back in. It may be a little bit of a tight fit because now you're smashing it up against that wire, but that's okay. You have to jam it in there. Alright. Then in my case, it'll depend on how long your wire is. I have a little bit of extra wire. I'm just going to kind of tuck it into the top there. It'll probably come undone, but that's not a big deal. There we go. Now it's in there. The battery's all the way snug. Then put your bracelet back on. You'll see these. There are holes in the bracelet that align with these pegs in the plastic, and so you put those holes back on, and then it's a bit tricky, but you have to get this cover back on while keeping the bracelet in place. There we go. And then you can still see the green bracelet through these holes, but that's okay. You just stick the screws over it and the screws just go right through the bracelet. me screw it back on. You have to be careful that the screws go straight down. So they have a tendency to want to go off to the side, and then that will sort of bend your plastic, and it won't hold it on securely. And it's fairly important that you have all four screws in there snugly, because if it's loose at all, then that connection is likely to come loose. Like I said, if you have a soldering iron, it solves your problem because it's very easy to make sure the connection is secure. But with this, we just sort of have it wrapped around, and but given how tightly it's in there, it should stay pretty well. And there you have it.